The second influence that we studied and we tried to come up with conclusions related to technology, and not just any technology, but communications technology. Chambers are in the information business. And so the communications revolution that is happening now has to have an influence on them. But it was interesting as we studied this thing, we knew there were going to be wave upon wave of new technologies. We'll probably be at Web 2.7? No, we'll be at Web 5.0 in 10 years. And this wave upon wave of new technology is going to cause lots of changes for chambers. Probably the biggest one is this mass customization that will be necessary, because segmentation won't be enough anymore. We'll expect things to be personalized for us in our messaging. You will, so will your members. But what was interesting as we studied this issue of technology is that we recognized that for the most part, chambers were not going to differentiate themselves based on how much tech they had, how many new toys, whether they were ahead of even their members, their most sophisticated members on communications technology. It wasn't how much you were going to invest in that would differentiate you from all the competition, from other organizations, from private sector companies that can deliver many of the same things. So what would differentiate chambers over the next 10 years? We believe that the differentiation is actually human contact, human support, human connections, and that will be what separates much more than whether or not you have the latest social media outlet. So the value of information is actually shrinking. Everybody's got it. Nobody can put a velvet rope around the access to any of this information. Instead, the most important role is that of the analyst and the filter. And those are things that chambers have done forever. You're great at it. And if that's the highest value you can bring, and it's also the highest value people are going to demand and recognize, then that role of the filter, the connector, finding what it is that's important about this huge stream of information, that's what's going to make the difference. You're going to obviously need technology tools to do that. But the delivery will be more tech, but the value will be added by a human touch. Sometimes we talk about fantasy football as a great example. Fantasy football is built around the idea that people should have a good time. So they do have a good time in person, and they create online connections with each other because they have the league. They connect for parties on draft day. But in the end, they use technology to solve the problems. They use technology to do injury reports and midstream, midweek draft choices. And it's this connection between technology and human touch that's going to differentiate chambers and make it so that this communication revolution makes you successful.